And all new rumors going around, and that is the topic of today's video. We are talking about Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Specifically, the idea being tossed around that Magic Mountain might be removing this coaster at the end of the 2017 season. What do I think of that? Do I think it will happen? Let's get into this. So first of all, I got to ride Viper this past summer, and it was my first time on it. I've ridden several Aero custom loopers, and I had heard that this wasn't one of the greatest, and I definitely gotta agree with that. I was not a big fan of it, and personally, if it were removed, I wouldn't shed a tear. Because frankly, as many coasters as Magic Mountain has, not too many of their coasters are really outstanding. Some of them are just okay, and this is a prime example of one. Yes, it's definitely a classic, but I mean, let's be real here. Anyone who's ridden it recently and has seen the restraints and knows how rough the coaster is, there's probably a good chance that you aren't a fan of this ride. Really, the people who like it the most are probably the GP. So of the coasters at Magic Mountain that you could take out, I think that this is definitely one that can bite the dust. Now, some people are saying, well, do you necessarily have to take out Viper? Because Magic Mountain has plenty of space, right? Couldn't they fit in something else? And yeah, they probably could. I mean, you still have that old Deja Vu site that is still vacant. But what's nice about Viper is that it has a prime location of being right up close to the front of the park so that when you're driving up to the place, you see it right behind X2. X2 will definitely be the star of the show as you're driving up. But if you were to put a brand new roller coaster there, that would definitely kind of help establish the feel that you get when you enter the park. So if Viper were to, say, be removed, when would it happen? I would probably expect an announcement late June or July, and then expect it to close sometime in August. And Six Flags will do this sometimes where they remove a roller coaster and send it to another park, but this is not something that I think will happen to Viper. If this is removed, it's going to get scrapped. Look at the Great American Scream Machine at Great Adventure when that was taken out for Green Lantern. That was just scrapped. That was an old Aero looper. This is an old Aero looper. Take it out, no one else is going to want it, just scrap it. So then, of course, let's get to the final thing that everyone is wondering. If they took out Viper, what would replace it? One of the options tossed around was a dive coaster. We haven't seen B&M work with Six Flags in a few years. The last time that they worked with them was for X-Flight. And so, I mean, I could see them start working with B&M again, but you have to remember, this is a company that's gone kind of the cheap route with a lot of their recent additions. They haven't been spending a lot of capital, so, I mean, that could be for a couple of reasons. Maybe Six Flags is just cheap and they're just trying to copy and paste everything. Or maybe they're saving up for something, like a B&M in the future. Now, I mean, Magic Mountain already has several B&Ms, so I'd rather see a B&M go to a different Six Flags park than this. Because, I mean, let's face it, Magic Mountain isn't exactly at the top of the list of parks that need a new roller coaster. But Magic Mountain has definitely established itself as a coaster park. That is why you go to Magic Mountain for roller coasters. So with their last edition being Twisted Colossus in 2015, could 2018 be the year where they get a new roller coaster? I think there's a good chance that that answer could be yes. 2018 is already looking to be a pretty solid year for the amusement industry, and I don't see why Magic Mountain couldn't just hop on that. Now, if Magic Mountain did get a B&M, I'd like to see another B&M go to another park in the same year. But, I mean, it's kind of tricky. And remember what Six Flags said last time that they installed Tatsu. They said that they don't want to spend that much money on a roller coaster of that size again. So if they did get a B&M, they probably wouldn't go with some massive giga coaster. I mean, everyone wants a giga coaster at Magic Mountain, but is Six Flags Magic Mountain going to get a giga coaster? Is Six Flags really going to spend that much money on Magic Mountain? I don't think so. If they got a dive coaster, then yeah, they'd probably want to try and one-up Valraven. But, I mean, Valraven costs, like, what, $18 million? So if you put it around that price range, I mean, it's still not as much as Tatsu costs. I'm sure that $18 million would still kind of be on the high side. I'm sure Six Flags would rather spend, like, around $15 million. So what could you get for that price range? Well, I mean, you could probably get a decent wing coaster for that price. I was surprised that X-Flight was the last wing coaster that Six Flags got. I was surprised that we didn't see more of them within the past few years, so maybe they'll bring them back and they'll send a wing coaster over there. I mean, that would be the only wing coaster on the West Coast, so they'd have that going for them. And it's different enough from X2 because the seats don't rotate. So I think it'd be a fine addition, but personally, if Magic Mountain were getting a wing coaster, I'd rather see it more towards the front of the park, and I'd really like to see it kind of thread that full throttle loop. I thought that'd be super cool. That'd be an awesome near miss. But if they put a wing coaster in Viper spot, I mean, that's certainly not a bad location, as long as they put in some sort of near miss. So I've talked about the B&Ms, but could there be anything else other than a B&M replacing them? I mean, the thing is that you have a good plot of land over there. Viper did take up some decent sized space, so there's no way that they're going to get some sort of vertical roller coaster. If they got a roller coaster, then it's going to have a decent sized layout with some right and left turns, a decent sized drop. And you have to remember, Viper does use that terrain, so a wing coaster and a dive coaster could theoretically use that to its advantage. I mean, the only other thing besides a B&M that Magic Mountain really needs is, I mean, they do need another wooden roller coaster. And I'd love to see a Gerstlauer Eurofighter there, but I can't see them going with a Gerstlauer anytime soon. And I doubt they'll be going with RMC just because they just got Twisted Colossus. I mean, some people tossed around the idea of Magic Mountain getting a T-Rex coaster. I'm just not sure how I feel about that. If Magic Mountain did get a T-Rex coaster, I think it'd be later down the line, not in 2018. So, I mean, there's no way of knowing what's going to happen. But I personally would not be surprised if Viper bites the dust at the end of the 2017 season. So post all your thoughts in the comment section below about what you think of this rumor. Would you like to see Viper removed? Do you want it to stay? What do you want to see replace it? Let me know below, and of course you can stay tuned for more coaster rumor topics, which will be coming soon here at Coaster Studios.